How is there already one person in here? That's crazy. Wow, wow, wow. All right. We're going to have some beers, or I'm going to have some beers. You can have whatever you have. And we're going to talk twin flame, soulmate relationships, 1111 portal, going into the Taurus full moon. I'm going to wait for some people to come in. And we'll get into it. And yes, I have y'all really close because I expect people will be commenting, and I need to be able to read because my eyes is blind and I can't see. I see 6 people in here. We might just go ahead and start. Hello, hello. See? That's why I was so close, because my eyes can't see. So I want to talk. Hello, everyone. I want to talk about twin flame soulmate. I put twin flame / soulmate. I actually was going to record this and post it, and then I recorded the intro, and then I got busy, and then I recorded the first part of it while I was actually waiting. My kid wanted some food, so I left and did that, and I recorded part of it while I was waiting, and then some other shit happened, and I got here, and I was like, fuck it, I need a beer, and 1 beer turned into 2 beers, 3 beers, and I was like, I don't feel like fucking recording this, so I'm just gonna go live, and we're just gonna talk. And here we are. Real as it gets, y'all. Real as it gets. Okay, so a lot of y'all... Hey. Oh, everyone's hearing static? I feel like I took the microphone out, so... Still static? Did that make it better? Better. Okay. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend like I know. All right. So, what's up, Buttercup? A lot of y'all know I don't like titles. If you've been following me for a while, you know I purposely skirt around the whole twin flame title and subject. A lot of y'all know, maybe you don't, about how I feel. Oh, also, you know what? Hold up. Okay, I don't know if that was gonna fix, or maybe, I don't know. I realized that the internet wasn't on. Hold up, spot up. Well, it was, but it was on it was on a slow connection. Yeah, well, Angie, of course you know how I feel. You don't know shit. No, y'all know that's my girl. That's my soulmate for real. So anyway, they've been on me about the whole twin flame thing for a few days, or really for a while, but to speak on it. So that's what this video is going to be about. We're not, well, I don't think we're going to read tarot. We may, but I just want to talk to y'all about where I'm coming from, and I really want to make it very clear that this is just my personal gnosis. This is my own experience. This is my truth. This is not the truth. Okay. Also, if y'all know, if y'all been following me for a while, you know, I don't claim to have all the answers. I don't claim to have the truth. In fact, I would steer clear and most likely fucking run for the hills of anyone that claims to have the truth. Why? Because if we're all just being really real, I mean, no matter how many paranormal experiences or how in tune to the other side or other dimensions you are, it's purely speculation, perception, perspective, and an interpretation of experiences, right? So anyone who claims to have the truth, you know, probably want to back way real slow. But I always try to leave room for growth. You know, the way I feel today is not the way I felt 10 years ago. Speaking of 10 years, that's been coming up. So there's something about the 10-year mark with today specifically, but that's been most of 2019, 9 to 12 years, but I keep getting the 10-year mark today. But anyways, so this is just my take on it, and it may help some of you, and it may not. It may just help you to maybe just see it in a different light, in a different perspective. All right. So, you know, I don't care for titles, period. All right. I found my twin flame before I knew the term twin flame. Okay. I also want to let you know that this is coming from someone who has all but accepted the fact that I will not be in union with my twin flame this go round. Do I know that to be fact? No, it's just how I get through the day. Okay. You're also dealing with someone whose Gemini is in Chiron. So for those of you that do understand astrology, someone whose Gemini is, or whose Chiron is in Gemini. What is Gemini? Gemini is the twins. So these people, Chiron is the wounded warrior, will often have fear and healing to do, of dying and living a life, not being in union with their twin. So this is actually something that I have a lot of experience in. I just choose not to speak on it because it does trigger so many people. But I gotta tell you, I get crazy triggered because so many people make such a like fantastical thing about it, right? They really put the emphasis on the twin flame relationship, almost to the point where they really kind of discredit any other type of relationship as if the most important one is the twin flame relationship. So it's not as romanticized as people make it out to be. I feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there. I feel like it's something to grab you. I feel like they know it's going to grab you. You're going to pay attention, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. I'm going to explain a lot of what I have seen in my own personal. Again, this is something that has like plagued me literally my entire life. If y'all really want to know the truth of it, I've been dreaming of my twin in other dimensions since I was about, well, my first memory since I was about 4 years old. So yeah, it's literally plagued me my entire life. And this is something that I've had to overcome to get where I'm at. Okay. There's a reason I've been celibate and single for years. Okay. There's a lot. Now, being a Scorpio sun and an Aries rising, one of the things I also can speak on and feel like I have, I don't want to say authority, but have battled this, is because my twin flame and my soulmate almost look identical. All right. Or soulmates, rather. We have many. So, all that being said, if you still want to stick around, that's what this video is going to be about. All right. When you come here, if you're organic consciousness and if you have a twin flame, even if you don't, you naturally will crave and yearn your twin flame. Why? Because we all contain the masculine and the feminine within us, meaning we are the twin. But instead of looking for this internally, it's I don't know exactly why, it's habit or first nature or whatever to look for it externally. Perhaps it's programming, society, who knows, right? We're also very tribal. You can go back as far back as you want to go back, and you will see that people from the dawn of time have been tribal beings, all right? Both in this realm and others, all right? So we know that we're not supposed to be alone. We naturally want to be with a mate, a companion, other people, right? Groups. So I think this may have a play and a part in why we look externally for the twin versus internally at first, okay? But you will naturally want to be completed by the twin. Because if you identify as masculine, you will naturally want to find your feminine. And vice versa. If you identify as feminine, you will naturally want to find your masculine. but you will look for it externally versus internally at first. This can be very, very toxic because when you get with your twin, first of all, because you are constantly looking for your twin without even knowing it, you will find yourself in the same situations, the same people. So oftentimes people say, well, I'm just attracted to this type of person. Why do I always end up with this type of person? Because you're looking for your twin. So all of those people that you're just like naturally gravitate towards or really, really attracted to are going to have attributes of your twin. Now, so I get like that's why some people get it confused, but you will find that if you do find your twin, it won't be a question. You will know. But a lot of people, y'all, I do tarot readings all day, every day. Y'all don't know how many people I talked to a year ago or even 2 months ago that were so certain they were with their twin or they were crying over their twin. And then yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever, 2 months, whatever, oh, they done found their twin. Again, a different twin. Oh, I'm back in union with my twin. A different, how many fucking twins do you have? Okay. This is because, and it's not uncommon, but I believe it's because you naturally gravitate to people that hold the twin attributes and characteristics. So, your twin will mirror back to you. Your twin will activate you. You're even people that are catalysts. So, like again, not necessarily your twin, but people that hold those characteristics. You will naturally gravitate to people who, where you are weak, they are strong. Where they are weak, you are strong. So when you come together, you are a whole person, right? This is the whole concept of why I can't be without my twin, which is nonsense because there are soulmate relationships that are just as beautiful and important and necessary as twin flame relationships. So I kind of get triggered when I see people making it out like the twin flame union and relationship is the absolute tippy top. No, it's not any less or more important than other relationships. Okay. So in any event, you will want to come together, right? And you'll want to be able to lean on them and then you to a point. Okay. But here's what normally happens. You end up feeling like you carry them in certain areas and vice versa. Meanwhile, each person is becoming the other's crutch. You're becoming toxic to one another. You're hindering each other's growth, right? Because if you're doing it, then I don't have to, right? If you're strong where I'm weak and you hold me up in that area, then there's no reason for me to grow in that area because I have you. Well, now since you're not growing in that area, I'm slowly but surely starting to resent you. And vice versa. So you end up with these extremely toxic relationships. And then you have a bunch of fucking know-it-all gurus out there telling you that the twin flame relationship is toxic and this is just something that you have to go through and this is part of it. No, it doesn't have to be, and no one should settle for toxic relationships. Now, the reason why a lot of people will say, work on you. While you are waiting for union with your twin, work on you. And they leave it there. They don't really tell you why. But because like I mentioned earlier, we each have the masculine and the feminine within us. While you are working on you, you are becoming whole. Okay? You should always want to be with someone that complements you, not completes you. There's no such thing. All right? Nobody completes you. You complete you. You were born here with everything that you fucking need. You don't need anyone else. Okay? You need to have a balance between your masculine and feminine. You need to be whole and complete so that you can bring a whole and complete person to the other person and y'all can go forward on whatever mission you intend to carry out. So when you get with your twin, especially too early, most of the time it hinders your growth. Most of the time you're so busy being toxic that no one grows. In fact, you go backwards a lot of times. So when you get with your soulmates, soulmates teach you soul lessons. So when you get with your soulmates, it tends to be much easier than a twin flame relationship. but it also will help you on your growth. The reason I get aggravated with the soulmate title is because it's oftentimes put out that we only have one soulmate. So this leads people to really wait, and it's like they hinder, like they just fucking stop, like they're just stagnant, thinking that only one person, like they're just spending all their time on this one person. And when in reality, all of these people have so much to teach you, okay? So in a twin flame union, or if you have a twin flame, or in the twin flame, not union, I don't know the word I'm trying to say. I don't know the word for it, but if you're a twin, whether you're in union or not, you should want to be the best you, and you should want them to be the best them, even if that means not being in union. Okay? How deep do I want to go? I'm just trying to be really transparent with y'all. I don't believe that I'm going to be with my twin. I went so far as to travel and break the connection so that we would have a chance to be happy with others. It didn't work. I don't suggest doing that because I think it actually made it worse. I'm just being fully transparent. But I hear a lot of people almost like, oh, I didn't even realize y'all were talking. I hear a lot of people talking bad about the karmic relationship. And oftentimes, if y'all don't know, the karmic relationship is oftentimes who the twin that's in a relationship. You'll normally have like one twin that's single and the other twin is in a relationship, and they call that the karmic. Is it? Who knows? Sometimes and sometimes, right? But I hear them talk really bad about the karmic, and this is how you will know. If you have ill thoughts toward the karmic, you're probably not where you need to be in union with your twin anyway. I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this. I know it's going to trigger a lot of people. But if you're so fucking jaded that you're spilling ill shit toward the karmic, then you are not where you need to be to carry out a spiritual mission with your twin anyway. Sorry, not sorry. You've got work to do. Most people that are twins, real twins, will tell you if you don't have a twin flame, why would you want one? If you don't have a twin flame, why would you want one? Go get a soulmate. They're often power couples. They do great teamwork. They do things together. They help each other grow. They don't allow them to lean so much on them as help them get where they need to be, right? Whereas the twin can oftentimes, especially, I cannot stress enough, especially if you get together too early, can really hinder your spiritual path and journey. Again, being fully transparent, when it came to me and my twin, because if you want to go look it up, you can actually see what type of person I'm naturally attracted to as my twin. And you can look at my track record and see, since that person, I will go toward my soulmate attraction, not my twin flame attraction, on purpose, because the twin flame will always be toxic in that way. Like, I realized I had growing to do. Oftentimes, one or the other will put so much into the counterpart that they will start to lose themselves. And while one person is really feeling whole and fulfilled, the other person is feeling very drained and jaded and bitter. And while one is giving it the all, the other is almost resentful and disgusted that they're giving it all. So I'm telling you, it's just toxic. And this is why I do not try to advocate the whole twin flame thing. you do not need to look for your twin flame. You naturally will be attracted to your twin flame. And if you find that you have relationship after relationship after relationship with the same type of, not problems, but like this, the people have the same type of characteristics, you can probably bet if you are a twin, those are your twin flames characteristics. And you can probably bet that until you make yourself whole, until you get balanced with your masculine and your feminine, that you will continue to have failed relationships with that type of person, whether it is actually your twin or not. You do not have to actively look for your twin because you are naturally attracted to your twin. Okay? Because these are the characteristics that you should be seeking out and working on internally, but instead, for whatever reason, we look for them externally. I'm going to read some of these comments. Oh, there's kind of a lot. I never want to meet my twin flame. I don't blame you. No, and see, here's the thing too. Like, I don't regret meeting my twin. Like, okay, like let me just give you an example. Y'all know that I've been this way. I was born this way. I was also born with a lot of my memories. It was a lot for my family to handle. They didn't know how to kind of like deal with me, because there was so much happening. I mean, my mother watched me get ripped out of bed and watched my clothes get ripped off with nothing else in the room when I was about, God, I want to say like 8 or 9. I was talking to dead people and doing all this weird shit, and my family was kind of like freaking out. Nobody knew how to help me. I told my mother about her great aunt's funeral, that she hadn't even got the call that she was dead yet and wouldn't receive that call for another week. Um, it was fucking crazy. I was often attacked. If you've ever dealt with children that are highly spiritual or whatever you want to call it, um, they will often be attacked. Um, and so I was living a very toxic life anyway. Like when I met him, I was living a toxic life. And once we came together, it activated a ton in both of us. And it was honestly just too much to handle, I think, for both of us. There were things going crazy. I was projecting myself like in real life. Um, we would get in fights and he would walk out and he would see me he just left me in the house, and he would walk out and he would see me standing on the balcony. It was like it was freaking us both out. I was under attack, and he was very spiritual, still is. um and because I was so much in the darkness and I was having so much happen to me, and a lot of you know why I call myself child of light, because I was in the dark for so long that when I realized I had light as well, I was like, oh shit, I'm a child of light because I am a child of dark. Like, hello. It took a while for that to click. So I would call him, and we weren't even together anymore. But when I was, I would have nights where I was being attacked, all over, because I would, be astral whatever on accident. That's another thing. Like, I wasn't trying to astral project. Um, but I would go to other dimensions and shit on accident, and I would be attacked when I was waking up. And if you think I'm talking about sleep paralysis, I am not. Other people were physically witnessing this happen. It was pretty fucking crazy. And I would call him, and he would pray with me, and you could just feel the energy like, whew. Um, and so he did that for me for a very long time. Again, instead of strengthening that inside of me, I relied on him to pull me out every time. So, I mean, that's just one tiny instance where my growth was being hindered. I was hindering my own growth. If he was going to do it for me, why I didn't need to do it, right? I mean, that's just one tiny, tiny little example. I wondered why the relationship I keep finding. Okay, yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know for definite. Again, most of what we experience is just, our interpretation and our perspective and perception, and so it's all speculation, but there are some things, like I said, I'm just sharing with you because it may help some of you move on, because I know how hard it is to move on when, I mean, because the love is very real. The connection is very real. The attraction is very real. And it can be very, very hard and even feel like death when you are walking away. I mean, I can remember even still having palpitations. And I remember when I would be sad and I wouldn't want to talk about something, and he would come in and he would be like, babe, my chest hurts. My heart hurts. Like, he was like, I'm thinking, we've taken him to the emergency room, y'all. Like, it's the physical shit is very real. And it was probably the hardest thing I ever did to stay away. The last time I was like, literally, I had a dream, and I don't think I've ever said this out loud, but we were killing each other. We were killing each other. Spiritually, physically. I would not be here today had I stayed, and he had things that he had to do. And so I don't know, man. I just feel like it's really, really important. And for whatever reason, today it was very important that I get this message out to you. Because I guess 11/11, I don't know what's going on with like the whole truth of in your face, but even the 2 readings that I had today were very much revolved around this topic. And I kind of knew they would be. But I don't want y'all to buy into everything out there. There's a lot of information out there, and this is probably not the most popular look, or what do you call it, like perspective of it or perception of it, but you have masculine and feminine within you, and you should, who am I to tell you what you need to do, but you should really, really work on getting that balanced. And if you are to a place where later on you can come together with your twin, then it will happen. If not, you can rest assured that you will still be able to carry out your missions no matter how far apart you are. You will always be connected. I tried to disconnect it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Didn't work for me. You will still be connected. You will still carry out your mission. And life will still be beautiful. And you may even know, who knows, you may touch more people separated than you would together. I don't know. I'm just trying to look at it in a bright light, because it is, I'm not discrediting the fact it is so fucking hard to not be with your twin, especially if you know who they are. But it's not impossible, and beautiful things can happen in those spaces as well. Oh, you're welcome. He always comes back. Yeah, he always came back as well. Or I would come back, and it's even now, we are not in contact. I mean, we were never bad people. I want to say, like, we're always like, we were good people. We're good people. Like, we would never want to hurt anyone, and we've tried very hard to be, loyal and faithful, and have been doing a pretty stand-up job, I would say. Even knowing that we have this connection, and it's very hard, and it's also hard on the person that you end up getting with, especially if you do end up getting with a soulmate, because the soulmate will be very connected to you, and they will know that there's another person in your heart. But you just have to, that's why I feel like it's so important to lose the titles and to evolve our consciousness as to not be so possessive, because we have so many connections and it can be so beautiful. And I don't know, man. I just want people to grow, and that's really it. I just want people to grow, and I want people to love and love themselves, and just be good with it, man. Like, that's it. Poof. Randy, did you just poof me? All right. Can't hardly live without him. I don't have a choice. I've been there. I can't say anything because, like, I was there. I mean, we went, I don't even want to go too deep into it, but I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. So, I mean, I know what you mean, but when you look at the situation and you know you are killing that person and they are killing you and you are killing yourself, and there is no spiritual growth, and the whole twin flame thing is because if you are a twin flame, if you're twin flame, if both of you are incarnated, you have a very spiritual mission to carry out. So while you are killing each other and while you are being toxic to one another, while you are not growing, you are not carrying out your spiritual mission. Now, there are things such as walk-ins and other agreements, and I'm not going to go there in this video. I would just be very careful as to how long I spend in that toxic energy, knowing damn well you came here with a spiritual mission to carry out. You understand me? Oh, I believe you. I'm not discrediting what you're saying. It's also I also feel some type of way about readers telling you that this person is your twin and this and that. I've also heard people say like things about why twins are attracted to other twins and that it's confirmation. I'm telling you, first of all, divine recognize divine, okay? It ain't no different than real recognize real. Duh. And like I said, you will naturally be drawn to people with your twins characteristics, and it will likely be toxic. So if you want a much easier relationship, go with the soulmate. Go with the soulmate if you can't be alone. I'm telling you, y'all, there's a reason I have been celibate and single for years. Years. Not, and it wasn't even a choice. It's not like I guess celibate wouldn't be the word. I didn't take like vows or anything. Abstinence maybe. There was a lot of reasons. Also, again, like I'm just gonna let y'all know, my Aries, I'm Aries rising, Scorpio sun on the cusp with Libra, Venus in Libra, Pisces moon, Aquarius in Jupiter, Chiron in Gemini. Basically, my attraction is so fucking physical. I need someone who's in the occult. I need someone who has a strong understanding of like that person's God, that person's God, that religion, that religion. Someone who is an artist. I need someone who is very good at expressing themselves in art. And I need someone who is very, very physical, sexually, and a very physically attractive. So I was a sex addict. Hey, I'm just being really real. So, I mean, it was very important for me to cut everything and everyone off and go find myself. And I had to be alone to do it. Okay, Brittany Harlow says, the enlightenment is now, y'all. It's all about the acknowledging and becoming aware of all these connections. So the twin flame is always traditionally toxic. No, Brittany, no. The twin flame is not always tradition. Well, I don't know about tradition. I don't know about traditionally, but the twin flame is not always toxic. If you meet each other when you've already developed your own masculine and feminine, when you've already done all, or all or most of your work and are no longer dependent upon that external twin, no, the twin flame can actually be a very beautiful thing, and is. And even if you've met your twin flame early and have been very toxic, if you've been separated for a while and you've actually done the work and you come back together, that can also be a very, very, very beautiful thing. But when you meet too early, if you meet too early, yeah, it's going to be toxic. Yeah. But no, it is not always toxic. Good question. All right, let's get a message for 1111. Hey, Caleb, will you bring me a black? I think there's one on your dad's altar. Thank you, Frankie. Caleb. I don't know if you can hear me. My little one's devices are loud. Will you bring me a black? I think there's one on your dad's altar. And a lighter, because I don't have one of those either. And an ashtray. I'm helpless. I have nothing.
Just crowns.
Just what?
Crowns.
Oh, okay.
You want one?
Huh?
You want one?
A crown? No, I've got beer. Yeah, a lot of people I think needed to hear it because it's something I don't really want to talk about. Who said that? Michelle. I don't like talking about it. I don't want to talk. It's not that I'm ashamed. First of all, I don't give a fuck who knows what about me, but like there are people that still chime in from now and again. And I don't want him. I just want him to be happy. Like I just want him to have every chance. And when it comes time, if it comes time, I want to have every chance at happiness. And I don't want to cause any problems. So most of the time I just don't talk about it because man, I swear to you, like I just want everybody to be happy. And then I know that a lot of people are very triggered when you don't have like the popular opinion. And I'm sorry, but these people make good money off of saying, "Oh, that's your twin flame." Fucking hate that shit. Of course you can send me an email. All of my information is public. Sean, yes, all my information is public. Yes, I agree. It's in the description, Sean. It is painful, y'all. It is. But here's something else I will tell you. I told y'all about 2019 bringing forth a lot of shit. Now 2020 is going to be a 5 years, so it's also going to bring a lot of losses and changes. And if you really, really want to be with your twin, I mean, best advice that I can give you, solid, work on you. Work on you. As you step up, your twin steps up. I don't know why. It just is like that. I don't know. I've never met my twin flame and I'm happy about that. Yeah, Angie, I mean, it's hard. Like, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. Temperance in the reverse position. Out of balance, not being so quick to reunite. Peace would be enough. What does that mean, Randy? Can you rattle the card against your souls? What? Of my feet? I'm confused. Also, oftentimes when I get the Temperance, because it is the card of Sagittarius, yeah, you're confused too, Angie. I don't understand where he's going. He or she's going with that Final Destiny. I get Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is philosophy and beliefs and things like that. So I do believe as it's upside down, it could feel a little jumbled. I feel a lot of anxiety for people. I feel like people don't understand why they're acting or reacting to things the way that they are right now because of the 1111 portal and the Taurus full moon. So it's probably just a lot, but I believe that this is putting truth in your putting truth in your face, so that you kind of can't ignore it anymore. Taurus moon also, I'm feeling like is going to bring a lot of truth so that you can have the opportunity, we'll say, to end the cycle. Of course, free will. If you want to stay there, stay there. You never have to move or do anything you don't want to do. But I do believe this energy is sort of making you face some things. Because as I said, 2020 is going to be a 5-year, and it will be a year of losses and changes. So if you do the work now, if reunion is truly what you want, you have a better chance in 2020 and 2021 if you are taking this time to really crack down and work on you. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and address the spirit guide thing because I get a lot of questions about that too while we're at it. The reason I say spirit and spirit guide is because, yes, I do believe we have spirit guides. I believe these come in the form of ancestors, outside entities. Y'all know I don't work with angels. I'm not going to go into that right now, but I do not work with angels. But we also are talking and communicating with our higher self. So sometimes when I say they and spirit guide, it's actually my higher self, right? That's being channeled. And there are other beings and things that we channel. So I kind of do like that because I feel also that you should be looking internally for a lot of these answers as well versus connecting to spirit guides. Now, of course, the energy is there where you can always call on your ancestors or whatever you may need to call on. But I do feel like we should first look inside, and then if we can't find the answer, look outside. I mean, and again, this is just my truth. It doesn't have to be yours. I'm just feeling like I need to be completely transparent with you because maybe you'll get something out of it. I don't know why. I didn't want to, but I've not been left alone. I'm like really being guided to do this fucking video. So here we are. You got a foot fetish? Under your feet. Oh, okay. That costs extra, honey. That costs extra. You gonna need me to do some crazy shit. We're gonna have to get in another private channel, and that costs extra, baby. So this Temperance with the World in reverse, I do believe this is coming to confront ourselves with truth and things so that we may have the opportunity to change, to sort of break some cycles so that we can be clear and have clarity. You know, it may not be the truth that we want, but it's the truth, right? With the Justice and the Eight of Swords. Truth. The truth shall set you free. Look at that. Six of Cups, things coming back from the past. It is in reverse, so this is a trip down memory lane, all right? We are in Mercury retrograde, as y'all pointed out in the chat. Queen of Wands. I'm telling you, it's about, the Queen of Wands is so independent and so confident. And that's what this is. Like, it's okay to take a trip down memory lane, and it's okay to be nostalgic. I've heard from quite a few people for quite a long time that nostalgia is a form of depression. I don't believe that, but if you're stuck there, then okay, anything that's stagnant, you know, like that is of course gonna cause depression. Yeah, Brittany. Yeah. Um, so yeah, again, like I do feel like there's things coming up. There's going to be things that are going to try to come back around. You will have to use your own discernment if you're in a place where you can accept that. And if they're in a place where you can accept that. Only if the souls clap up and down. Y'all, I don't know what's going on in the chat. Hello. I just see something. Nom, 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 nom. I feel like with this, if it's time, right? If you're truly doing well on your own and you're balanced in the truth, if things come back from the past and you want to go ahead and jump on it or give it another go, by all means do it. But if you believe that it's not where you need to be and it's ultimately just going to keep you stagnant, then, you know, maybe another time. Maybe another time, maybe further on down the road or further on up the road. With the King of Swords. Lots of swords. Lots of swords. What is logical? I do believe that we're changing perspective. I do believe that we're shifting paradigms. I believe that we are growing. If you're one of the ones that's really willing to face it, and if that is you, if you are one of the ones that's really willing to face it, you're probably having a really tough time right now. Let's be real. You're probably having a really tough time. You're probably under a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. You may be pulling your hair out, feel like you're being pulled in 20 different directions. You don't understand where you're going or what you're doing. And this is because you are facing your truth, and it's like fucking got you glitching out because so much is changing so fast. But if that is you, it's going to even out. It's on purpose. They're saying it's on purpose. You can't grow in your comfort zone. That's kind of like what I was talking about, Page of Pentacles with the twin flame. If you've not come to the twin flame thing as a whole, it will cripple you because the other person will be that for you. Wherever your weakness is, they will be strong, and vice versa, thereby allowing you to stay crippled. Page of Pentacles with the Six of Pentacles. People are starting to realize their worth. People are starting to realize their worth and their value and accept nothing less. This can also be uncomfortable, especially if you're a people pleaser. With the Two of Wands. What are we talking about? Being at a distance. Uh-oh, we got to bless your heart. That means somebody didn't have nothing else nice to say. Can't say nothing nice? Say bless your heart. Y'all be careful. Be careful. You got the Two of Wands with the... Look, maybe this is why I had to come on about the twin flame. Because, you know, you can't really resist that. Look, I'm gonna be really honest with you about the sex. It's the best sex you'll ever have. Let's be really real. Fuck it. Um, is sex everything? No, it is a large part. But we've got the Six of Cups with the Queen of Wands, with the Justice, with the Two of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles with the Ace of Wands. This looks like somebody coming back and really not being able to deny them because of how good the sex is. Wear protection, especially if you don't want babies and you're still able to get pregnant. Be careful. Yeah. Ten of Swords in the reverse position. This is a revolving door. Yeah, so somebody is about to be presented with a situation that they're going to have a really hard time saying no to. You're grown. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but when it comes with the twin flame, you know that you don't have regular sex. You don't. One of the things that makes it so out of this world is the deep connection and the spiritual, like it like fucking feels like you're levitating. Am I supposed to say 14 hours? Is he watching? OMG. Let me they're not ready. You do what you do, but it can really hurt you because it's like you're 3 steps forward and then they come and literally it makes it that much harder to walk away. It just makes it that much harder to walk away. You're hurting yourself, you know? The connection is so deep and intense that when you unite on that level and then you just expect to get up and go to your house the next morning or send them out the door, you know that it's not going to happen that way. You know it's going to be hard to leave. Better that you don't put yourself through that. The Empress saying, be the Empress. What? I will caress your souls with my brush. Fuck the tarot reading. We got live sex chat right here. Foot fetish sex chat. Should we be charging? Sweetness. Hope I'm asking this right. Is mastering your twin flame union required to finally move on and stop returning to this 3D life? I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could give you a 100%, but I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. Absolutely. I'm guessing you're talking about charging. But yeah, no, that's a good question. I don't know, and I don't think anybody knows. In fact, I would say no, and only because I feel like the system was broken for a while, meaning we got caught back up in the wheel and spit back out. And we didn't kind of have a choice to come back here. That's some of it. But some of us weren't in the wheel for a while, and we did choose to come back this time. So I have to say no. I have to say that's not the ultimate. You don't come back if you master that. No. Especially because if you think about what the twin flame union is, to give a message, and I believe the twin flames are coming to help in maybe like resetting the matrix, or I don't want to say like bringing an awareness to consciousness, or it sounds like so pretentious to act like they have this huge mission. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's still going to get done. So I would have to say no to that question. But again, like, that's just speculation. We don't know. Where's the super chat? Seriously, I need to get on that if we're going to be having full-blown cyber sex. And I think we should charge extra for fetish, especially because feet are so nasty. Oh my God, what is happening? Patrice, I think it makes sense, but I don't think most people master it in one lifetime. Maybe. So anyways, the last card we got was the Empress. After this Ten of Swords in the reverse position, I have nobody to talk about it. You can talk here. Everybody seems to be speaking real freely, no matter how freaky it's getting. I feel like you should be the Empress. Be the Empress and sit pretty. The Empress knows what's coming to her, so she doesn't have to take action, right? She manifests just by sitting there. She is the mother of all. She's got it in the bag, and she knows that. The Hierophant in the reverse position. With the Moon in the reverse position. Whew. A lot of people fear letting go. A lot of people fear letting go. That's probably something, if you fear letting go so much like that, that's probably an area you need to look at. You know, what I have found through my experience with the twin flames is the feminine, the divine feminine, has major abandonment issues. And when I get this two cards, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. The fear of letting go, or not being committed, or not having that control, or not having that connection. The fear of being abandoned or left out. And you shouldn't. I'm telling you, I tried to break the connection. We have been basically out of contact for, I don't know, since like fucking 2009. I mean, we've had some contact here and there, but nothing physical. We've not even seen each other in person. And still can't fucking let each other go. Still have a connection like no other. And I tried to break it, and you can't. So I'm telling you, you shouldn't be worried about that. The connection's going to be there. The connection is absolutely going to be there. I am here for light. Final Destiny. Are you sure? Because you've been talking about rubbing feet cards, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Did the person who has the foot fetish asking for like weird, or you call those cameos, get offended? I've saw some UFOs on last days here in Brazil. Otavio? I was going to call you Santana because I don't know how to pronounce your first name, but that's really interesting. Angie, you see that? I want it gone. Great. Shaking my head. I'm telling you, I understand why you want it gone because it's so toxic, but just allow yourself to separate it from it, Michelle. Well, I can't say this. This is just what worked for me, and that's why I'm sharing with y'all. If you allow yourself to separate from it, and work on you, he or she, I'm not sure what the gender is, but they will grow as you grow, and you will feel lighter, and you will feel more complete, and you will feel more accomplished. Brittany, awesome. Awesome. I'm just reading your comment about growth and being afraid. You have geese feet? OMG. Whatever. Leave that fucker alone. Look what Santana wrote about the UFOs, Angie. I've had a few UFO experiences. Bright lights. Bright light, bright light. And y'all, another thing a lot of people don't know about me, Angie does, but I'm skeptical. With everything I am, everything I've seen, everything I've experienced, everywhere I've been. You wouldn't think like I'm not a skeptic, but I feel like I go into situations with a very healthy skepticism, if you will. So when I did see the UFOs, I tried to convince myself I was crazy the first time. And even the second time, but the third time I was like, no fucking way. Like, I saw that, and there's like nothing else that could have caused that light. Holly Miller. I release so much, I don't feel much now. Is that normal? It can be. I'm not sure if you wrote messages before that. That's the first one I've seen from you. But it can feel very normal to feel like you've had to let go of everything to the point of being numb and having to rediscover and refine yourself. Yes, it can be. And it's very hard if that is what you're talking about. Hello. So grateful to catch you live. Much love. Oh, thank you, Scorpio Phoenix. That's a human response. Angie, I assume you're talking to Holly. I agree. My mom talks about seeing UFOs when I was a baby in Argentina. We are definitely not alone. I totally agree. Alba, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. At night, a lot of lights, and I don't feel so good when I see those lights turning around. I don't know if you mean physically, like you physically don't feel good, but on the third one, like I felt nauseous. Holly, at just feel peace, not much movement. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean, baby. Yeah, Santana, I don't know if you're saying like you don't feel good when you see the lights turning around, as in like you don't get a good vibe or you get scared or whatever, or if you mean like physically they're taking a toll on your health. Because the third time I saw the light, I felt really nauseous. Like I remember feeling that way when I had X-rays when I was pregnant. It was like that. Like I don't know. Angie, I agree. Holly, you are a beautiful soul having a human response. I agree. Yeah, and does anyone else find, like, now, okay, shit, we're just talking. I love this. I love that we're just talking. Um, does anyone else feel like they see, we'll say UFOs, or talk to people that see more of that type of activity at certain times? Not necessarily, well, yeah, in certain places, but not necessarily, but like at certain times, like astrologically. Well, Holly, if you feel peace, then I would say that's a win. Look what just came out again. The Empress. Different deck. Maybe that's why I was supposed to come and talk about the twin flame thing, because I'm telling you, in order to grow, most of the time you will have to separate. Now, there are rare occasions where you can grow together, but a lot of these people out here talking about their twin flames and bullshit. On November 1st, I had a dream. I flipped the matrix, like I seen a big screen go white, then static like TV. Then I was looking through it into someone's living room. You laugh, but I've actually had dreams similar, like not exactly, but similar, and I've been told, it feels kind of stupid saying it, but like how it's all just binary numbers. I haven't seen lights that are definitely not normal movement. I feel something in my pineal gland I can't explain. I have. I have seen lights that are definitely not normal movement. Yeah, me too. I don't know. Like I said, I tried to convince myself that I was insane, and then the second time I was like, you know, I was smoking, I was drinking, and I was driving, so I was paying attention to a lot, and I was like, yeah, that's probably not at all what that was. But the third time, I was completely sober. I was on a back road. It was very dark out in the country. We don't have a lot of street lights, even for main roads. There was nowhere that light could have been coming from, straight down. And I mean, it was just the brightest fucking light. I mean, the source that it had to be coming from had to be just fucking huge for it to be the way that it was. I don't know how to describe it, but it had to be a huge source. But when I looked up, there was no visible aircraft that it could have been coming from. So I just dubbed it a UFO, right? Because that's what it is, an unidentified object. But that is also the time that I got very nauseous and ended up at someone's house that I didn't intend on going, just because it was closer than my actual destination, because I felt like that sick. Someone was with me both times. Oh yeah, I was alone. See, and that's another reason I don't want to convey. Like, that's cool. You had someone to verify, like, you're not batshit. I didn't. Three of Wands. Look, I'm telling you about the twin flame thing. When you grow, they grow. The Three of Wands, the ships coming in, things coming in at a distance. I'm telling you, 2020, 2021, there will be a lot of unions taking place, but only for those who had the balls, yeah, I said it, the balls to break the connection and really, really work on themselves. And for others, it's going to be very hard, because this is why I get a little bit upset too about like people talking down about the karmic, because you have to understand that's that person's life too. Like, they have feelings too. And so when the person that's with the karmic leaves the karmic, I mean, that leaves them like they're starting their life over too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Also, I'm feeling very, very strongly to tell some of y'all, if your twin is in a karmic, you will not be able to take them back. You need to sit your ass down and just wait, because they're going to have healing from that situation to deal with as well. You can't, well, you can do whatever you want, but that is almost counterproductive to not allow them to heal before you take them back. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they've got a lot of shit to deal with now from the whole whatever y'all didn't deal with whenever y'all were together before, plus whatever they had going on now with their karmic, and if there's children involved and all, like they've got so much healing and growth to do on their own. Once again, we're right back to when you come together, it's very crippling because it doesn't allow the other person to grow the way that they need to. Do you believe reincarnation in other planets? Abso-fucking-lutely. Great question. Yes. Yes. Other planets, other dimensions. Absolutely. I agree, Brittany. Brittany says, hey, it's warming to talk to souls and vessels enlightened. So many closed-minded people in the world with so much static, they can't even see what's going on. I agree. He doesn't have any balls, none, zip, zero. He's slow learner, I guess. A lot of people are. I mean, it's hard. Hey, my twin is with his karmic. Just shows we both have more growth. Absolutely. Like, I don't think there's anything like wrong in admitting that. I mean, in fact, I think it takes a bigger, stronger, more developed and mature person to admit that, Holly. I'm the one out of the karmic relationship working on my healing. Jessica, absolutely. I mean, that's great. And even to be aware of that and to be able to admit that, I think that's amazing. You know, and here's the thing that I get so angry and so triggered about the people, you know, really pushing that twin flame shit online, because you do have healing. You do I just feel like it I don't know. I just feel like it what am I saying? Like advocates or promotes toxicity, and instead of just being real, like if you are a twin, you have a spiritual mission. And if you have a spiritual mission, you should be more mature. And if you are more mature, then you should be one of the ones that understands that you can't always have what you want on a 3D level if it's going to hinder you and everyone you encounter on their journey and on their growth. And so I just feel like a lot of these people are out here fucking making bank on a hot topic, you know, when there are a lot of us who found our twin before the phrase was coined and on every fucking flashing light and website. You know, I don't know. It's just fucking crazy to me. Who else missed something when see the stars? Santana, do you mean like when you see the stars, you miss home? Is that what you mean? Because that's me. Always. I used to get ridiculed and criticized for just laying in the yard. Shit would get tough and like weird in places because like I'm very, I don't know, empathetic. All the voyant audiences, clairvoyant, clairaudient, Clara, whatever, Clara, whatever you want to call it. And so things would get tough, and I would just be like, fuck this shit. And I would go lay in the yard and just look at the stars, and kind of tears would fall with like stoic expression. And people would be like, you're fucking crazy. Bro, I got the cops called on me one time completely sober in my own yard, laying, looking at the stars. And like, I saw the lights and I fucking like lifted up off the ground, and the cop was getting out of the car. He had parked right there on the sidewalk. And, this is the first time I moved to the city. Um, And I was like, is there a problem, officer? And he was like, well, one of your neighbors called on you because you're laying in your yard. And I was like, is that illegal? And he goes, well, technically, no. But I can find a reason to make you go in your house if you don't want to go on your own. And I was like, whoa, whoa, like, I didn't know it was causing any problems. I'll go in. And so I did. But that just goes to show you, like, what the fuck? Somebody can call the cops on you for being in your own yard. Like, I pay for this shit, private property. I got the cops called on me for looking at the stars in my yard at night. Doing nothing wrong. Completely sober. Brittany says, hey, I'm curious. Do y'all notice your kids are in tuned when chaos, etc., and they get sick, throw up, get drained easily? My 5-year-old is always getting hit, not psychically, obviously. Yes, I do. With both of my children. One is 16 and one is 3. Michelle, this chat has been amazing. I think so too. I just want to hang with animals. They're more loyal. Scorpio Phoenix, I agree. Bro, Final Destiny is tripping me out. Lightly, certainly. Let the sandals in the study whip. You should write a novel. A foot fetish novel. Yeah. Yeah, you should. However your creativity flows, Final Destiny. No judgment here. Angie, I didn't understand being an empath, so I didn't understand that in my son. Yeah. I could say the same about my parents. My parents didn't understand their own shit, and they had a lot of their own, like, self-medicating. My dad was a junkie. He talks about it today. He actually talks a lot about it to people. But yeah, my mom had her issues as well. And I'm not trying to, like, say anything bad about my parents. I had, you know, good parents. They did their best, you know. But they tried to self-medicate and suppress a lot of their gifts. So when I came, they did not know. If anything, I mean, they were fucking terrified. Especially my mother. My mother has always been scared. My mother still to this day is scared for me and what I do, because she has seen me be targeted. And yeah, no, Angie, I can totally relate to that. And I'm sure my mother and father could relate to that, because we don't understand. And I talk about this a lot as far as my youngest one goes. I'm really honored to have him, because a lot of what he does and goes through is even more intense than what I was experiencing at that age. And I just feel like I can handle it, and I can do something good for him that wasn't able to be done for me. You know what I mean? Holly, I'm glad I caught you live again. Me too, Mama, me too. Yeah. Beating fancy makes you creative? What? Is that like... Huh? It's like a fancy way of beating your meat? I'm so sorry. My son has a gift. Had he tuned it out years ago. Beating fantasy makes you creative. I don't know, Final Destiny. You go be creative, baby. Yeah, a lot of addiction. I'm not going to say all, but a lot of addiction. And I've had my fair share of addiction. I talk about that as well. Sex, well, I would say self-medicating. I don't think any of the drugs that I used were necessarily addictive because I could put it all away and I would sell my last shit. Like, no shame over here. I sold drugs for a long time. Um, but yeah, like I would sell my shit. So I don't know. I don't know that I was an addict. I wouldn't consider myself an addict. In as far as drugs, but I do run into a lot of people and have a lot of people that like sex was my thing. So I mean, yeah, sex addict is real. There's more addictions than just drugs, and this is why I'm so open about addiction and talk about that a lot. There's a lot of things that you will run to versus facing what's really going on, because it's a lot. It's not even a lot easier. I don't know why we do. I was going to say it's a lot easier, but it's not. It's actually harder and more toxic to do these things than to face what's going on spiritually. But because it's not talked about, because it's not accepted, I just feel like we cling to any 3D thing that we can to tune it out and turn it off, because we're not taught properly how to channel it and how to deal with it. Michelle, I would agree. I had okay, Scorpio Phoenix says, I had hypnotherapy and blocked my third eye because of something I've seen as a child. My higher self said I didn't need to know what it was. Still working on that. Um, how many beers have I had? Okay, well, I don't feel that drunk. Have you tried ayahuasca? Be careful. I don't know what your if your higher self said that, or if your brain is saying that and you're rationalizing it with your higher self. And I'm not trying to belittle you in any way, but I will tell you, on my third ayahuasca experience, and I also make no, I am a firm believer in plant medicine. I believe in the herbs. I believe in plants. So I journey very often. But on my third ayahuasca experience, I started recovering memories as a child, this life. And I remember being raped. Like I remember being molested, but I didn't remember these parts. I remember being stuck in a freezer. I recovered a lot of memories, and I will tell you this: be very careful, Scorpio Phoenix, because had I not had as strong of a mind as I have, I could see someone, because it was like I relived it. I mean, I literally could feel him on top of me. It was like I was 9 years old again. Do you understand? Like, and I had blocked this out for so many years. And now looking back, like I kind of remember things that didn't make sense, and now they make sense. But I can see having a weak mind and having all of those memories like snowball in, and waking up from that journey and blowing my brains out. Like I wouldn't, because I have a very strong mind, but I could see a weak-minded person doing that. So when you are trying to recover memories, I suggest being very, very careful. And if you really want to recover them, try ayahuasca. Santana, I agree. Santana says, always when I'm watching Orion constellations, I have a feeling like, oh, Orion, maybe, yeah, Orion. Um, I have a feeling like constellation, something or someone is calling for me thousands and thousands of light years away. It's a nostalgic feeling and it makes me cry sometimes. I agree. Like I said, I will just like fuck everybody, and I will go in the yard and I will just lay down and look at the stars. And like I said, my face will be just stone stoic, but I will just cry. Like there will just be tears that fall. So I get that. And I don't, yeah, I get that. I would so love to do that. Have wanted to for the past 4 years. Are you talking about ayahuasca? I'm assuming y'all are talking about ayahuasca. It's not hard. Okay, we've been on here for almost an hour and a half. Strong things trying to come forth. And I really enjoyed tonight. I enjoyed like the freedom of the direction of the chat. So if there is nothing else, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I love you all very much. Thank you so much for joining me this evening and listening to my babble. None of this is scripted, so I know sometimes I like fumble and get off, but I appreciate y'all being patient with me. I love you all very much. And if you do need to contact me personally, all the information is in the description box below. I may take a little while to get back with you, but I never just intentionally outright ignore people. So yeah, that's it. And I love you all, and I will see you next time.